Damn contracts. Alright, and welcome to the third episode of my old TF2 mapping projects. So we're on to the next one. I was thinking I was gonna see if I could do something a little different than what I normally do because of just the special circumstances of the maps I have lined up here, but it'd probably be too difficult, and you know, I just want to get through these. I want to get through these old projects, just show them off, maybe show off the other ones that haven't even been properly like made into maps or whatever. Basically, the maps that I've been going through right now are all maps that I uploaded to TF2maps.net and maybe got playtested once, at least once, by their awesome community. And yeah, so those other projects would be things like maps that I never uploaded there, maybe even maps I've never properly compiled before just to show off drafts of things, you know. But these are the other three, these are the three most recent projects that I've abandoned, I guess I'll say. And by recent I mean they are several months to possibly even a year old still. But we're getting there, we're getting there. It crosses a large span of time though, I will say. Other things happened intermittently. I think I started up a bunch of drafts and never finished them in the time. I just never bothered to even put them on TF2 maps because I was becoming aware of how just not quality they were because I just was not paying enough attention to previous mistakes I had been making. But without further ado, this is CP Logworks. It is a 5 CP map. We have this incredibly long spawn here with 3 resubs. It's not that bad. You get a resupply at nearly every exit. And then there's also this, looks like an upper exit here. So this is last. That's another giant skylight. As you can see, I am known for these giant unrealistic skylights that are just square and not very good looking. We'll just take a look around. So there's the last here. Well, I mean, I already said that. It's very cramped, so there's not a whole lot interesting going on. There's this upper area here, I guess, to get some high ground. There's the last point here, which is way too far back. It'd be incredibly hard to push a full ammo kit in there for some reason. I feel like that's kind of unbalanced. Just this balcony thing here, just some detail experimenting, I guess. And there's just this wall cutting off the mid. It's just super thin. It's incredibly tiny. And you have these rooms here, and then you have these rooms here that are also super other than the fact that there's this ramp in the middle here that kind of drops down here, it's just super linear. There's not a whole lot interesting going on. I mean, at least the ramp, at least I knew to use the ramp to cut off this long sightline, but this sightline shouldn't even exist in the first place if I had known to, like, you know, give these rooms some more interesting geometry. Then you have these doors that are basically all the same and all in the same plane. Pretty much all these doors, as a matter of fact, are kind of just identical to each other. Like, all these doors along this wall are the same. These two are pretty much the same. And there's this one that's kind of different. And then you have these, which are weird. Let's not look at the outside yet. Then there's this room here. This room is pretty much just mistakes. Mistakes central. There's really no reason. I feel like maybe if I were to do it over again, maybe have this room, just remove this wall entirely, this room and this become joined together, and then somehow, like, shift everything over to kind of over here, just so that there's no wasted space, because this room is pretty much just wasted space. And especially, why is there water? Was I trying to go for a sewer here? Was I just trying to make this room more interesting because I knew it was going to be a shitty corridor? Like, I don't... And even then, in my try as I might to try to block dumb sightlines, there's still this one that's created that lets you shoot right into the door because the door frame is too high. Anyway, I think this is a prop. This is not a brush. This is not a set of brushes. Yeah, these are not brushes. These objects here, these are props. I was just kind of experimenting a bit. I had an idea. I think it was mainly I had the idea for the mid, and then I had no idea what the hell to do for second and last. This is the second area here. It's kind of a displacement going on, a bit of mixture in the ground, but not much. There's the second here. It's just a spire. And for some reason, I had the brilliant idea to put a forward spawn right underneath the point. That's kind of No, it's first of all the room is tiny. I mean, it doesn't matter too much because it's a 5 CP forward spawn. They're usually pretty small, and you can't go back into them. They don't have resupply lockers. That's just the nature of the game mode. But it's so cramped. Everything about this is just mostly underscaled. It's very, very underscaled. I assume this is kind of some process-inspired go through here. I think I put these hazard tape lines to indicate where a sight line started, which is hilarious. It's just hilarious to me because it just doesn't make a whole lot. It's like it seems like it's trying to be like a hybrid between process and snake water, and it's very odd. Like I can kind of see the snake water inspiration here with this window, but the window's not very good because it's on this ramp. It's on this area that only jumping classes can get to, like the major jumping classes can get to. So it just locks off the rest of the teams, and it provides a very bad spam angle. This wall here, I think, is also supposed to prevent sightline, so it's just a very strange room. Again, very thin. This is out to here. I think I got very overzealous with trying to block sightlines. Like I could no, actually, with how this is going on here, it's the space between the points is also very, very short. It's incredibly short. Yeah, between second and mid, and second to last, it's short. It's very, very short. And the mid is not, it's not as cramped as the other ones. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. It is cramped. It wouldn't be as cramped as the other ones if it weren't for the fact that the whole fucking thing is surrounded by these buildings that are just giant, towering things that just block all fun. This map just does not look very fun, I don't think. And this is the only version of it I ever made. It's just very meh. It's a very meh map. It's not bad. Like I've said multiple times, it's not as bad as the first things I did, but it's just very underwhelming in terms of design. I mean, I don't know. I guess the mid is okay. Maybe if I scaled it up a bit more and did away with these buildings going on here. I'm pretty sure I only added these buildings just so I could add these cranes for this thing. And even then, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why would you have these cranes going up to nowhere to pick up a log? It's just very peculiar. If I did away with these things, did away with the log, maybe made the mid a bit bigger, it might be okay. But it's just tiny. Let's fly out here. Look how it's just small. Relatively speaking, each individual point area is just way too small, and there's a lot of wasted space, especially in the last area, because I really did not know how to do lasts. I still kind of don't know how to do lasts because I've mainly been focusing on King of the Hill maps. But that was this one. So let's try to compare that to the next map in the list to see how well the next one fares, because that one's from several months later. We live? Alright, we're live again. Right, so this is CP Newport, and it is much different than the previous one. Let's just take a look around here. We're going to ignore this lower area for a little bit because I want to talk about that later. This last kind of looks almost like a carbon copy of the last from all the way back in, all the way back the map I made, that for the very first, I think, CP Pagoda, I think it was called. I think that's what it was called, yeah. Very reminiscent of that, but not as disgusting in terms of scale. I see a lot of gully wash in this kind of area here. The last seems uncappable, I kind of think. It just seems like it'd be very difficult to push into here. I mean, well, yeah, because you got these columns that the enemy team, well, that the defending team can hide behind. You have all this high ground on both sides that's pretty much identical, almost. Spawns are right there. Come out of here. They get this nice window, and then they have I mean, I guess maybe could kind of be balanced by this back area. Oh, fuck it. I'll just take a look at it now. We have this absolutely ridiculous flank over here. You go through here. You have to pass through this doorway, which already looks through here, so you're gonna die trying to even get to the flank. But if you manage to get to the flank, it's definitely Gully Wash inspiration because you got this left side flank that goes deep and around to the back. But you come up here, you have this drop down. You commit to the drop down pretty much, and then you have a full health. Why? Why is it full? Why is the room so big? Why are the dimensions all fucked up? Why is there a displacement with water at the bottom? Just why? This whole room seems like it could be better, like better made. There's probably a better way I could have made this room. Like, thin the corridor, make it quicker to traverse, like maybe extend this room a little farther back. Like, once you get past the door, maybe push the wall back, put the drop down like here, or even not have a drop down, have stairs, like a normal person. And then just go through a nice little hallway and then come out the back. Maybe leave the back open just so it's, you know, it's cramped. But this, I mean, this floor here is super low ceiling, trying to get through here. I have to push that back out a bit. It's just kind of strange. You know, I'm really figuring out, I guess, kinda, sorta figuring out, in quotation marks, Hammer at this point. You know, I got overlays going on. I mean, same thing with the other map, but I got things figured out. I got the overlays, I got player clip on these things, something I probably wouldn't have known to do before. I got nice little windows here, these doors, just the room. I started putting these in the spawns and giving them the right skins, like... I think there was also one point, I think there was a good while when I was mapping that I didn't think to change the intensity of lights. So I just added more lights instead of figuring out how to change it. I don't remember when I fixed it. I think it was earlier than I'm thinking, but I don't know. Got the super cramped room here with this wall that's trying so hard to block sights. But I think it's honestly, if I'm looking at it here, I think it's kind of unnecessary to have this wall because, you know, you can kind of look into the last, but, you know, the wall just takes up way too much space in the room. It would probably be better if the doorway just was shifted over here entirely. Maybe add a window here for better visual clarity, or at least an arrow pointing at the door that says capture point or something. Sign pointing out this way. Another super cramped entryway here. I mean, you kind of get rewarded for risking it, but with this health and ammo. But there's another health and ammo right here that's slightly not as risky, so there's not a whole lot of point there. And then you have this super separated area, which has a lower area that comes out to here. Yeah, this is definitely Gully Wash inspired, especially with this flank, this room, this kind of, I think it's called, what is it called? What is that call out called? Like doorway or something? Door? Big door. It's called Big Door. This is reminiscent of Gully Wash's Big Door, but it's not big enough. This ramp is rotated kind of strange, but that's alright, I guess. This room, yeah, small room. And then this leads up to a very twisty staircase, leads up to a balcony here. Yeah, this seems kind of more like a rip-off of Gully Wash than an inspiration at this point. You have this, you have the big door, you have the giant... There's a whole lot of inspiration in quotation marks. There's the forward spawn here that had to be put on elevated ground because I couldn't fit it anywhere because I didn't plan that far ahead. Not sure why that's a prop. Probably didn't need to be a prop yet. There's two separate things here. You have this very... What? What is this? What is this second? I mean, the point itself is... it's alright. You have this really cramped way of going up to it, but I guess it's less visual. You have this... Okay, but this over here, this makes no fucking sense at all. You have a train car, which I guess connects the two areas like this, but you have this hill-type... What is this? What is this supposed to be? Why is there a hill? What is it supposed to represent? What could it even be in this... What is this, a train yard? I mean, there's the train. There's a grain hopper. But what's the point? Why does it just end? Why do these things just end? And you have more Gully Wash spinspiration here. and then this kind of looks like a flank. It almost seems like drop down if it wasn't a drop down. It's like the concepts of water. I guess this would be water over here, and drop down are flip-flopped. What is also super bland room and overzealously trying to block sights. These fences. Just if you get worried too much about trying to block sight lines, you end up making your map very cramped because you're going to be putting in a lot of cover walls. Also, I mean, this I think might actually be a little bit bigger than the second and the previous map, and this last is, I think, definitely bigger than the last on the other map. Now I think about the ceiling is also pretty low. And the mid is actually pretty huge. This is a pretty big room. I'm pretty much calling it a room because it's just a square. You have this square here. You got these train tunnels. You got the trains. I mean, I think the mid is probably the best part of this area, honestly. Yeah, this is Gully Wash for sure. But I didn't know how to make a cylinder that also had hazard tape on the top. So, it's just a square. Pathetic. Gotta cut those corners, you know? Don't be like Wendy's. You gotta cut those fucking corners. Cut the corners on your beef. I don't know what tangent I'm going on about, but got the tunnels. You have team textures. They're just touching each other because I don't know how to attach buildings to anything or make it look realistic in any way. There's this chicken wire here, which is... This could literally just be a solid ramp. Why is it not a solid ramp? I don't know. Health and ammo down there. Too close to the point. I mean, it's on the lower ground. It takes you a little bit to get back up, but it's super duper close. You have this here, which I think is also to block sights. I mean, that one's a little more acceptable because this one just goes from this to the very opposite side of mid. But hell, you could probably leave it in there and it'd be fine, especially when you consider that this is a full ammo kit. You know, there's kind of some risk you should probably have to take to get one of these because it's full ammo. I mean, full ammo is not as important as like full health, for instance, but my point still stands here. Super cramped way there. You can walk along the trains to kind of do stuff, but not really because of these walls that are in the way still. Like, you could probably do away with that wall and that wall. Well, I mean, pretty much the same wall because it's rotational symmetry. Or alternatively get rid of this one. And that one. I don't know. I very overzealous about blocking the sightlines in this one. I think this one is, in some ways, but not others, an improvement from the Logworks 5CP that I showed previously. But yeah, it has some weird issues. I probably could not even... there's no way I could replicate the weirdness that's going on in either of those two maps. So I don't think the product would be very good anyway, but it's very strange. Very bizarre. There's the forward there. I think you can get on these roofs, but not these, and I never distinguished it with a different texture, which is... why? I don't know. What the fuck is this? I don't know. I don't know. That's what they say. It's very hard to talk about these. Even the more recent ones, it's hard to discuss what's going on with them because I don't know. What was I thinking? Literally, what was I thinking? Why is this big? Why is the ceiling low? Why is this cramped? Why is this at all, period? Why is it just overall a ripoff of another map, basically? I think I jokingly put in the description of the map that it was like if Gully Wash stole Foundry's skin or something stupid like that, but it's just... I don't know. Let's just see what the last abandoned project is here. Alright, so this one gave me some trouble to set up because this is actually an arena map. This is Arena Metro. This is my last abandoned project so far. Let's hope. Let's hope this is my last abandoned project that got uploaded. I think this one also only had one version. It is an arena map. It is tiny. Right off the bat, this is a death pit. Danger, high voltage, keep out. I was electrified water in a subway station. That's the announcer unlocking the point because it's arena. I couldn't put it on tournament mode because it broke everything, and I had to spawn a bot as well, because that was the only way I'd be able to actually play it, because there's only one person in the server, the game won't start. You need 2 people to play arena mode. It sucks. But anyway, so we got coming out of here. This is I think a mirrored symmetry map. We got 2 exit doors here, and we have another door, or a thing here that leads up to a window. And then you have the map. This is the entire map. It's small because it's, it's arena. You have the point right here. It's on a subway thing. I think this is actually a really cool idea. Probably one of the best ideas that I've had on one of my abandoned projects. I could potentially pick this back up and maybe expand it into a different kind of map, but I probably won't. So maybe I could leave someone else to do it. Who knows? We got these subway cas here. I could probably do away with this one and this one. Just leave the main cars here. The idea is just, it's a metro station. You got the outside area, you have the point, and then you have the station over here. Yeah, it's just the station. And then I guess this is blocked off somehow. Probably not with a giant fence, maybe with something else. You get a big health and ammo here, which is different, which is kind of weird for an arena map. Mostly they barely have any packs at all, and if there are packs, they're usually, tiny ass ones, like just small packs. I think there's one arena map, official arena map, that had a medium health kit somewhere on a log over a death pit or something. Can't think of the name of the map, but that was a thing. And yeah, this is the whole thing. Also, you got these lights that are team colors, so that's a nice little touch, I guess. Maybe. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense that the lights would be these colors. Who knows? You got this long fall. You got a truck just kind of over here. You have another medium kit and 2 smalls, which is basically a medium underneath this here. I mean, I can get the risks associated with these being larger packs over here, You have... This is pretty low ground, and you only have 1 life, and it's kind of cramped-ish. And you have these sight lines. I was not as overzealous about the sight lines on this one, just because you don't need to be in an arena map. It's arena. You can get away with a lot more. Like, this is fine. It's still small, but it's fine. This is just a straight-up medium kit over there. Might have to be a small. And then there's just this under here. And then you have the stairs and a dumpster, which has a small health and ammo. Yeah, it's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of map. Also, this is ripped straight out of Kong King, or Koth King, as people like to call it. I literally just grabbed it out of the decompiled version of the map, put it in there. Probably not the best decision. I mean, it works for the theme, but just straight up copying it out of that map is probably not a good idea. I don't think. Yeah, it's a small map, and this came way after Newport. This was several months later. I think this was just not an experiment, but like an exercise, a mapping exercise that I did to get back into mapping after a long hiatus from doing it. Something like that. Also, why are these brick archways on this bridge? Why are they not here? I guess maybe it's to match with this because it doesn't have those weird archways, but it's just, I don't know. I mean, it looks kind of nice. I could see this being turned. I could definitely see with with tweaks, with a lot of tweaks, this potentially working as a King of the Hill mid, but Arena just by fundamentally doesn't work. I think there actually is another version of this map that I have. I think people were saying that even for Arena that this map was too small. So let me see if I can pull that up. So once the siren's clear, this is the unfinished A2 version of the map that was never released. As you can see, this is no longer death. It has a subway. It has a flat car that kind of extends the spawn a little bit backwards. Not really sure how you could get a flat car into a subway tunnel, but you know. One big change, beside this texture being completely wrong, is an entire new area over here. We have these sky pathways going through here that leads to a new room. It doesn't, the tracks here don't just end at a wall, it ends at a door here that then goes into the walls. It's kind of like a shed. And it has a medium health and a full ammo kit. And I guess it kind of makes sense because it's super out of the way.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And the link, shut the fuck up, announcer. Anyway, and the links that you have to go to get from this area to the point, especially in Arena where everything is a little more risky because you only have one life. I mean, I can kind of see it, you know. This area, it was, I guess, extended a little bit. I think this fence is put here just to straight up give me an excuse to put a wall player clip here.
User was moved to your channel.
User was moved to my channel. There's no interaction here. Also, I think there's frontline assets here. At least the skybox is. From the frontline community thing. Doesn't look like a whole lot of anything else was changed. At all? Hello? At least these dumpsters are team colored, you know? At least I paid attention to that. At least these trash bags being mirrored doesn't mean a whole lot just because they're trash bags in the corner. Scenic nowhere. I don't know why I'm putting on this accent. Also, I feel like this window might be a little overpowered, but even then, it's Arena. Who gives a shit? I mean, who gives a shit about Arena anyway, but, you know. I think the reason I made this one a medium was because of the window. Yeah, something like that. Some weird excuse. But yeah, tiny map, not a whole lot added. I mean, I think this is a good start, adding this extra room here and this thing, because it just makes the map a little more bigger, a little more interesting. But, you know, I can definitely see why I never continue it again. Also, these rail props were super long and had a very specific length, so I had to add a super big brush to fill it in so it wouldn't cause a leak. You know, typical things. Also, new small health kit there. Interesting. Well, yeah, so actually I think something else did. I think this area actually got lowered a bit. I don't remember if these ramps were here before. I think that was a change that I made. I'm not sure though. But in any case, that's the Arena map. This was the last abandoned project of mine. So I guess I'm not sure what the next video should be. Should it be the completely unreleased, just extra projects, things that are laying around in Hammer that I never probably compiled, or things that I compiled and never uploaded? Or should the next one be my current projects? I don't know. I think I want to save my current projects to be the last video, and maybe even do a thing where I have 2 of the projects that I'm kind of working on, just kind of in the background. And by the background, I mean I'm not working on them at all right now. But they're not abandoned. They're not abandoned. So, like, I showcase those 2 maps, and possibly see if I can find things I'd want to change in them. And then I'd show off the map that I uploaded most recently in its own video. Or I could just put all 3 in one video. I don't know. Let me know what you guys want me to do. You guys probably have a better idea what I should do than I do. As weird as that might sound. I don't know. My throat hurts. Anyway, yeah, so Yes, those were more of my old mapping projects. See ya in the next one. Or just no, that's not my outro. Who the fuck do I think I am stepping out of line here? Hold on. Yeah. See ya.